Good morning, LBHT crew. Good morning, Road Nation. Our boy Hendo is back. He is back. Welcome back, man.
Appreciate it. I am
Listen, yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
I've gotten the 5 hours of sleep since Sunday. They scheduled me for an extra night last night, and I just walked out at 5 o'clock. I didn't say to nobody. I just was like, I'm out.
That's what you do. You don't even give them a chance to. Hey, can you see you?
Thanks.
See, they about to get that for me today. I worked too much yesterday. Today it's gonna be Jose. Can you no? Don't ask me anything today. All right.
Right.
Send in your ticket. You don't send in the ticket. Don't talk to me.
100%.
All right. That's how we start Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Good morning, everybody. Michael Akins is here. It says, good morning, guys and families. Still no real protection for Lamar Jackson. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about it. Corey Hunt, salute. Good morning. Says, good morning, Flock. I'm trying to be patient and positive, but I'm tired of the off-brand protection. Yo, like Corey pretty much summed up how I'm approaching this off season and how I'm feeling right now. Facts, Corey. Facts. Right. Follower of Christ. Good morning. Good morning. But I hope Lamar leaves soon because this is getting ridiculous. No protection, no weapons, and they just expect Lamar to do everything. Yeah. Even the resident hater, what's his name on ESPN? What's that dude? The quarterback that works for the Bills.
Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, even Dan Orlovsky has backed off his comment of, oh, well, there's no excuses for Lamar now. All right, he was all gung ho when he traded for Max Crosby, like that helps Lamar. But after that, he ain't saying anything about Trey Hendrickson being there. All right, then you looking at the O line, he's like, all right, let me just shut up. I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything at all. I'm not gonna retract my statement. I'm just not gonna say anything. I'm gonna act like nothing ever happened. Dr. Kush with a super chat. Appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you, Dr. Kush. Thank you for that. Carmelo Moody, salute. Says Grand Rising to you. YT on YT. Good morning. Says, oh, I'm here waiting for this. Yeah, I bet you are. All right, I bet you are. We're gonna talk about how we feel about this O line. Good morning, TC. We got just Aloe. Good morning.
Morning.
It is what it is. Good morning,
Biggie.
OJ Stoical says, wonderful morning, people. Wonderful morning to you. Killer Cam says, Ola Jose. Where's the rest of it? Oh, okay. So Brady not even here.
I thought it was like, what?
Brady not even here. He's still sleeping.
He's still sleeping.
He's still sleeping. Devin Janelle Konnichiwa. Over there in Japan. Salute to you. Michael Akins showing love on both channels. I like to see that.
Appreciate it.
I like to see that. Ravenville, good morning. Harry Holland, good morning. Megan is here. What's going on, Megan?
What's up, champ?
Thanks for coming through. Coach, salute. Good morning. I was just on Coach's show yesterday. We did a Ravens roundup. That was a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about the same thing. I'm going to say the Max. We'll talk about the Max Crosby thing, but we're going to bring that up on tonight's show as well. His breakdown of what happened with the Ravens. AD 89 Nevermore. Good morning. Salute. Anthony Hendricks. Good morning. Bald Sneed. Good morning. Who else we got in here? Point. Salute. Imani. Good morning.
Hey.
What's going on? JR. Good morning. Good morning. Lamar taking boxing lessons because he knows it's going to be a fight. O-line is terrible. Oh. People were making fun. Yeah, I know. People were making fun of him. He looked awkward. I mean, if you never boxed before, that's how you look.
It didn't look like Stephen A. Smith, though.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that Stephen A. Smith. That was concerning. Like, I would not let that video get out. Lamar looked like it was his first time boxing. He looked fine.
Yeah.
If he keeps it up, he'll get better. Black Ice. Good morning. Drift Sports. Good morning. Stu Wop. Good morning.
What's up?
Yeah, Dance Fan, I see you in here. Money
Hey,
Mike, AJ or Jetta's not realistic, but I think EDC will definitely make a move for Devontae Adams. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much more realistic Devontae Adams is. It depends on what the Rams are asking for,
yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, it probably is more realistic to get Devontae Adams. They probably, because he's older, he wouldn't ask for as much. You're probably right about that, Money Mike. Flagship, good morning. Says morning. The only positive about EDC bad moves is if he keeps it up and turns out the way we think so far, he's out of here. Yeah, definitely. SB what's going on?
So,
Salute. Man, a lot of y'all in here.
facts.
What's
Shalom.
this? What's this? Tay the Slum Lord. Tay the Slum Lord. Okay.
Shalom.
Shalom. All right. All right. Dwayne Hunter. Good morning.
Appreciate
Prodigy and Havoc says, looking kind of grim, but at this juncture, fellas, Ravens beginning to bore me. So hopefully there's some spark during the draft. Devontae Adams would be cool too. Okay. All right. I think Tracy.
it.
Tracy is here. Good morning, Tracy. That's what I'm talking about. Now we're all up. Now
Right.
we're all up. Good to see you, Tracy. Drift Sport says, wait, lose 2 young tight ends to free agency. Response sign, slow tight end Smythe, then bring in injured Njoku. Yep. Eric he cost us still here. Oh, I'm not mad about Njoku. Well, first of all, they haven't signed Njoku yet.
Right.
All right, let's let's not get too excited
Pump them
about that.
brakes.
Yeah, yeah. The Stutter Man says, good morning, gents. To answer your question about the O-line, I say we hopefully draft the center in the first round. I don't see that. Is there a center that's first round, has a first round grade?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't seen one.
Yeah.
But that would be the answer. It's a draft one. All right, Neuropsych Sports. Let me get these shots real quick, and we're gonna start this. Rainmaker, salute. You're not late to the party. We still saying good morning to everybody.
Thanks.
Dominic, salute.
So,
Cousin Davon,
Kazoo.
salute. Slim, good morning. Michael Hawthorne, good morning. Coach C, good morning.
Coach.
And Mohammed, good morning. Rick Jones. Jones. Big Sean, I see you. All right. We caught up. We're caught up. All right, man. Listen, that signing yesterday was a joke. That's not like, this is how bad it was. I don't really get to catch up on the news at work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I have my phone on me, but man, like when it gets busy, I just be running around and I'll be paying attention.
Right.
I think I even posted it in our Discord that we signed somebody, but I didn't do any like digging into who he was. I just assumed, I saw that he only started 7 games. I'm assuming he's a young guy.
6
right?
games.
6 games. Okay, he started 6 games, and I'm like, okay, they got some young guy in here. I was like, this is stupid. So between him and Corey Bullock, we don't have much experience there, but they're gonna try to work it out somehow. That's what I'm thinking. Then what was it on Coach's show? Maybe we were talking about it, and I bring up like, oh yeah, they're trying to they're trying to get these young guys in here and see what they can do, and someone pointed out, nah, man, like this dude's been in the league for like 7 years, and I was like, what?
Right.
He's 30. So he's not. I wouldn't even feel comfortable if they said no. He's just here for special teams. Right. What are we gonna do with that? What are we gonna do with him? So yeah, that's what they got, and you can't convince me on scheme fit or none of that. Mm-hmm. You brought in the guy. I mean, that's not even a insurance policy there,
right?
So right now we signed Corey Bullock, brought him back. We got this dude Pinter. We brought in another dude, right? I forget.
John Simpson.
John Simpson, and then somebody from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So Gwen. Gwen. We brought in 4 linemen, and we still need help at center, left guard, and right guard. Okay, we still need help in all 3 places. That's why I'm taking the position I'm taking right now. And yes, I said I wait and see what the end product looks like. But what do y'all think is going to happen? You think they're going to draft a center in the first round? I don't think so. You think they're going to get a guard in the first round? I don't think so.
Probably not.
I think I think they will get a center at some point, and they'll say between the three that we have on the roster, somebody's going to have to win it out. I think they're looking for Emory Jones to take over a starting spot, and I think John Simpson is going to take the other spot, and they're going to say we fixed the O line.
Yep. Yeah.
And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but that's not how you plan for success. What up, Zeke Okage?
What's up?
Good morning, Reese.
Hey.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because, like you said, the guy started 60 games last season, 139 snaps. What's that going to do for us? That's not experience. You know what I mean? He's been in the league 5-6 years. You're bringing in backups to be starters on offense. But defense, you're going all out and making sure. You wanted to get 2 premier edge rushers. But when it comes to protecting Lamar, it's like, we'll see how it works. And I think the move yesterday, it ensures that they're not going center in the first round. They may not even go guard because they're going to say, well, we addressed the offensive line. And I'm tired of seeing these publications like, oh, we signed Danny Pinter. Oh, our offensive line woes are now fixed. How? We got guys we don't even know if they can play, especially together. If one of them's lacking, how are they going to overcompensate for the lack of experience or the lack of talent on the other side of them? Like, this O-line is a hot mess. And I know Lamar's tired. I know Lamar wants out. I know people want to see Lamar go to another team, and I don't blame him. If after these 2 years he doesn't sign an extension and go somewhere else, so be it. They have not done him right since he's been here. They're continuously going defense, while your quarterback's getting beat the hell up, and you act like you don't care. But yet and still, EDC think he out here doing EDC things, and people still coming in here defending him. Tomorrow he making moves, he cooking. How? Look at this offensive line. People are laughing at us at the moves that we're making, and we have $54 million under the cap. We are in territory we have not been in a very long time. So we have the money. And then you see the team-friendly deal that Wyatt Teller signed to go with the Houston Texans yesterday, and you're looking like, why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we bring an experienced guard in that didn't cost a lot of money and protect Lamar Jackson? We're going to do like we do each and every season. Wait a while. Everybody's going to get signed. We're going to be like, shucks, we tried to get him, but it's nobody left. It's crazy.
Yep. Also, Jalen Waddle got traded to the Broncos.
Yep.
And this is what we keep saying over here, man. It's what I keep trying to tell you. Call around and ask teams, what they want for players. Right, Jalen Waddle was even a player that I brought up when I talked about trying to acquire a wide receiver. But the Broncos asked about him, and of course it makes sense. They're doing a fire sale over there.
Right.
People just forgot about Jalen Waddle. Call around and ask teams, hey, what do you want for this guy? What do you want for Amon-Ra St. Brown? What do you want for Jettas? We know what the Eagles want for AJ Brown. Devontae Adams, and the Devontae Adams news comes from they're saying that the Rams were exploring it because they were looking to get AJ Brown, And isn't that funny? They were just in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
They were right there. They could have easily been Super Bowl champions right now. Right. That was a close game. And they said, they have everything they need. They're like, let's do better than Devontae Adams.
Right. And I think he had double-digit touchdowns last season.
Oh, he killed it.
While he was hurt. So he outperformed the trade, and they want to upgrade from him. Whereas we see guys and we're like, what do you want us to do?
That's right, Coach. We have 9 million usable cap space left. $9 million. That's right, because I was teasing Sutton yesterday because Sutton was talking about, hey, we still got money to make moves, and somebody pointed out we only have 9 usable, and he was like, oh. And I was like, Sutton's recalculating his head now, like, oh well, we can get guard or center. We can't do both, right? Like, yeah, man, like this is always by design, and this is that's why I've been a lot skeptical about what EDC is doing. As soon as they did the Max Crosby trade, I said, look, I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm not jumping up and down right now because I know what EDC does. but it's still early, and I'll give him time to see what he's going to do next. And his next move was to sign John Simpson. I said, well, here goes the BS, right? Here goes the BS. You let Linderbaum walk, and the talk is you let him walk so you can you can trade for Max Crosby and sign Trey Hendrickson. That would have been a disaster, right? Like, yeah, it sounds great. Oh man, we have both of those edge rushes. Oh, we'd be killing it, and we probably wouldn't had the money to sign John Simpson after that.
Right.
Like you're gonna do absolutely nothing on the O line, and I'm with you. I don't think they're gonna go O lineman in the first round. I think they're gonna try to get Ruben Bain. I think they're gonna try to move up and get Ruben Bain. He's this organization has always been fixated on defense since Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and Suggs and all them came through here, and they think they can replicate that. They can't replicate it. That's done with, and you're just ignoring the fact that you have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play this game, and this is acceptable. You know what I'm saying? Like this is what you want to go out there with. Ronnie Stanley, who everybody talks about, is always hurt. If you ask the fan base about Ronnie Stanley, nobody likes Ronnie Stanley. I think he's solid. I think he's still got a little bit left in the tank. Does he get hurt? Yeah, I think a lot of his injuries came from the training staff prior and the coaches playing him when he was hurt, right? But a lot of people don't like Ronnie Stanley. So you don't like our left tackle. You don't like either guards. You still don't like either guards, right? I mean, we had some hope about Emory Jones, and we can't even argue about center because we don't know who the center is going to be.
Thanks.
Right? And Rosengarten, he didn't have a good year last year either, right? So that's the O-line. The O-line is worse right now than it was last year, but somehow we're going to go to the Super Bowl? I don't think so, friend. I don't think so.
Thanks. And with all this going on, we're in the second week of free agency. And with everything that's happening, we have $9 million in usable cap space. Why have you not approached Roquan Smith or Marlon Humphrey to lower that $32 and $26 million cap hit? Why have you not approached either of them? But yet still you added 4 years to Lamar's contract. It's always offense where we have to kind of scrimp and save. But when it comes to defense, it's like, nah, we're not going to touch that. He said, I'm not going to approach them at all. Why would you not? That should be an option, especially if you haven't filled a lot of these holes. And you can think that he's going to go into the draft and miraculously now learn how to draft players, and we're going to fix these things. You're right. Why would somebody believe we're going to the Super Bowl? I saw in the power ranking, we jumped up to like number 6. For what? Trey Hendrickson, I like the signing. He ain't going to help this defense the way that you think he is. He may get some sacks here and there, but he was injured last season. He had a core muscle injury. Sometimes those are hard to shake. And then, Jesse Minter and Anthony Weaver, they're going to make this defense better. Yeah. But what about the offensive side? Who's going to protect Lamar? Who's going to open up holes to Derrick Henry? And if Derrick Henry is not superhuman and did what he did last season, what are we going to do? We don't have a home run hitter in Keaton Mitchell anymore. What are we going to do? You know what I mean? Like, you're letting all these players go by. You're letting these teams trade and pick up players on the cheap. What are we going to do? We don't have the money. We don't have the general manager that's proven that he can consistently draft good players. How are we going to the Super Bowl?
Let me read these super chats. Tyrone, salute. Thank you for the super chat. It says EDC will pick either Bain or Sadiq. Yeah. And King Sadiq, I think, is going to be a really good tight end. I think he could be a playmaker. If he's available, I don't think that'd be the worst thing in the world.
Right.
Better than drafted the safety. Like somebody argued the other day. Madara, thank you. Okay, we got a Naruto fan here. I know who Madara is. Thank you for the super chat.
Appreciate it.
Says Ravens fan from Australia. Oh, salute to Australia, one of the most dangerous places in the world. Okay, Australia has the most dangerous animals, creatures in the world. All right. It says, would y'all take in first and second round? Who would y'all take in the first and second round? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Also, who would be your go-to trade sign for wide receiver and O-line? First round has to be O-lineman. It's got to be the guard / tackle from Miami. Francis Maulaga. I can't pronounce his last name.
Right.
Or Vega.
All
I
right.
also can't pronounce his last name from Penn State.
Ione.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
big
Yes.
Ione.
Yeah, you know what? You know, we'll know how good they are the better we get at pronouncing their names.
Facts.
That's
Yeah.
how it is. You know, the most complicated names we'll figure out if they're really good players. You
Facts.
know.
Yeah, I'd take him. I'd second round. I'd take Jennings Dunker, the guard from Iowa. I'd take that. Then wide receiver. I'd give up 2 first-round picks for George Pickens. And
Yeah.
inside, and if we don't get that guard in the second round, go get Joe Bitonio.
Yeah.
Problem
Yeah.
solved.
Yeah. Joe Baton's still out there. And I can see us doing something like that. Like Joe Batonio's still there after the draft or something. But that's what we do. We always wait until the second wave of free agency to see who's left because we know the asking price is pretty much set in stone. And that's when we try to make a move, which is it pisses me off that it's always this way on the offense and not the defense. You know, um, that's just not it's not a good strategy. It's not a good strategy. Wait for everything to get picked through, and then we're hoping because Joe Patonio is older. That's why he's still out there.
Right.
He just might be washed. He may not be the Joe Patonio of old, which is why he's still available.
Right.
And we're gonna be like, okay, problem solved. And then he gets here, and then you're like, yo, why is this dude getting beat all the time? Because he's old. That's why.
He might be old, but his pass blocking was upper tier last season, and he is a year older. But
I'm not saying he can't play more. I'm just saying like
normally,
if we get him,
right,
he like we're hoping that he plays like he did last year, and he might fall off the cliff. Then
he might,
yeah.
And the problem is we wait around not just because of money. We wait around so that comp picks become available because after a certain period of time, you can sign a free agent and comp picks. You still get them. And being that we lost the third rounder for Linderbaum, signing Trey Hendrickson, they're going to want to get more comp picks. And my thing is, you're forgoing talent to get a player that you can pick in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round that's not going to make a team instead of getting an impact player that's going to help us win a Super Bowl. Like that strategy has not worked for us. Right. But yet still we continue to do it. Like it's the dumbest thing in the world.
JR, thank you for being a member for 2 months. Appreciate that. Says we got the new O-line coach. They think he's going to magically make everyone block well. But hey, what can we do? Yeah, I don't like that. Right. Like the logic that you're using on offense, you should be using on defense. We have a defensive coach who's an excellent defensive coach. We got Anthony Weaver, who's a good defensive coach. Why can't you say, hey, with these guys and the schemes that they're going to run, we don't need to go out there and get a Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson or any big move like that. Let's put the resources in the offense, right? Since we got a first-time coach calling, or guy coach calling plays for the first time. Let's help him out a little bit. All right. JR, thank you for the super chat. Says it's a real disappointment to see how this organization chose to build around Kyle Hamilton and not our once-in-a-generation quarterback. Yes. It's infuriating. It's and yes, it's still early, and there is still a way that we can look. By the end of the season, we can look at both sides of the ball and say, all right, they plugged all the holes. It's possible that they do that. They could sign Joe Bitonio. They could draft a center that turns out to be pretty good, and the O-line holds up. I still have issues with how they did it. Because right now, let's say Emory Jones works out. Right. Let's say Corey Bullock ends up being the starter and he turns out to be pretty good. Let's say John Simpson is a little less John Simpson-ish. Right. And the O-line holds up. We're like, all right, O-line is fixed, right? Well, how many years is Corey Bullock signed for? 1 year. Emory Jones was what, a 3rd-round pick? I mean, he still got, I think we have him for another 2 years.
3 years.
3 years? 3rd-round picks get
anything after the first round is 4 years.
Yeah. So after next year, it'll be 2
years. Yeah, after next year, right. And then it comes time to pay him.
Yeah. Rosengarten.
Yeah. He'll have one. He'll have one after next season.
He'll have 1 year left. Yeah. So, And if Corey Bullock, because I've heard people say, hey, Bullock is the answer. If Bullock is the answer,
Mhm.
how much do you want to pay him next year?
Mhm.
Right? When he comes to you and says, I need 25 million.
Right.
Because it's not going to be I need 10, 12, 14 million if he's young.
Yep.
If he's young and he turns out to be the center that some of us can project him to be in our heads, if he turns out to be pretty good, yeah, dog, I'm younger than Lindenbaum, but I'm gonna give you a deal. I'm gonna take 26. I'm gonna take 26 million. Y'all
Yeah.
want to pay that? You know?
What I mean, let's see. Next season, Lamar Jackson's cap hit balloons up to 85 million
Yeah.
with the void year. Then, if we pick up Zay Flowers' fifth-year option, that's $27.3 million. So that's over $100 million between two players. Now you have some other guys that you may want to re-sign, and Bullock comes to you and says, "Hey, I need this money. I need to get paid. What do you think we're going to do?" We have all pro and Pro Bowl players that came into contract years, and they were like, "No, you going?"
Speaking of Zay Flowers, I don't see us re-signing him either. They should. They should extend him and give him whatever he asked for right now.
Right.
Right. I don't want him going anywhere near free agency. Keep him and add more to this offense. But I can see them letting him walk. And in fact, Brett Coleman put out a video. It's pretty much breaking down the formula of the Ravens
Mhm.
for the last 8 years, and it's all the things that we've been telling you. But he pretty much nailed it. He talked about how you know they get these wide receivers, but then they turn around and let them go because they don't want to pay for wide receiver.
Mhm.
You know, traded Hollywood Brown. Well, I mean, they kept Bateman. You know why they kept Bateman. But it's just always turning over their top picks. In fact, it wasn't just wide receiver; it's just top picks in general because we didn't want to pay Patrick Queen. You know, we didn't want to pay Hollywood. We let Owe walk, and
Right.
he brought the same thing. How he's like Owe's not a bad player. He was just bad here, and he turned out to be a really good player. Made $100 million
Mhm.
in the offseason because he can actually play. And that's something me and B were saying too. Is no man, like you invested a first round pick in him. You knew he needed time to develop. He's developed. The guy that made him who he is here now as our head coach. Um,
Mhm.
you keep him, and they decided to trade him because they were never planning on paying him. That's the
Man.
that's the fact. Ty Riggs, appreciate the super chat. Says Max and Trey was never going to be on the same team. I could see them. I could see EDC trying to make that. I mean, he was trying to make the splash. He was trying to make the Max Crosby deal happen. I could see him bringing in Trey Hendrickson. He would do that for the defense, right? That'd be him stepping out and doing something a little different. Is get very aggressive on defense. That's why Mattel says the Ravens are going all in, but not on offense. He would never do that for offense. He'll do that for the defense, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah. They kept Bateman because he's cheap. Yeah. And guess what? You got what you paid for.
No, bruh.
Yeah.
Every time we didn't keep C.J. Mosley, we didn't keep Bradley Bozeman, we let Isaiah Likely walk. Like every time we have talent, especially guys that perform in contract years, they let them walk.
Yeah. But that's that, and they think it's working because they've had a certain level of success, and I just don't feel like they really care about well I think Steve Shy cares about winning now, right? I think before they didn't really care about winning because they're winning enough, and they can always tell themselves they're right there. Just got to maintain what they have. Well, the
Mhm.
bottom fell out last year, and Steve Bisciotti saw that and said, "Oh, this doesn't look good. How are we going to compete if this is how we look when Lamar is out the game?" Right?
Mhm.
That's why he had to shake things up. But what we're seeing right now is maybe this is the best EDC can do. Like he truly doesn't know how to improve an offense, right? He doesn't know anything else because his whole time here, especially coming up under Ozzy, has been about evaluating defense and maintaining a strong defense. And even when it's obvious as daylight that we need to fix the O line, he just doesn't know. Like he just can't do it. He doesn't know what to do there.
Right.
So it's there's still time. I'm not feeling this at all. Flagship says Brett Coleman puts out very good info, very facts and analysis based. Yes, of course. You had a couple of bootlickers out there. Not gonna say any names. Um, you know, um, not gonna say. I'm not gonna say. I was gonna blur it out. I'm gonna be nice. I know bootlickers out there that didn't like his video and try and criticize it.
Right.
Pointing out like, oh, he's not even a fan of the Ravens. First of all, I don't like when people do that. You don't have to be a fan of a team to critique a team, to analyze a team. He knows football. He knows football. So yes, he nailed it. There's nothing in that video that he got wrong.
Right.
Right.
And he's coming from an unbiased view. He doesn't dislike him. He doesn't like him. So he has no reason to pander towards the team or just say something negative about him. He's going off facts and what he referenced and what he researched. And his sentiment being a lot close to a lot of Ravens fans, you should be like, it may be some merit here. But of course, everybody wants to believe the best. Everybody wants to be super fans and think that, this can't be. The Ravens don't operate like that. They do. Because if we are and have been voted the best well-run organization, number one in the NFL, why have we not been to a Super Bowl? If EDC gets A+ drafts each and every season, if he kills free agency, and we have a 2-time MVP, why have we not made it to a Super Bowl? If this roster is constructed the way that y'all say that it is.
Why we missed the playoffs?
Oh, man. We were supposed to go to the Super Bowl last year. We were the favorites in the league, and we didn't even make the playoffs. Why is that? Because all of this depth that he's been credited for wasn't there. When players went out, we struggled. But he's been lauded for, oh my gosh, he nailed his draft. He got so much depth. Oh, these guys can come in and be starters anywhere. No, they can't. They couldn't be starters on this team.
Facts. World Class says, I don't think throwing a lot of resources to offensive players with this suspect offensive coaching staff is the answer. That's World Class. No, I couldn't disagree more. First of all, I don't think this coaching staff is suspect. Yes, Declan Doyle is his first time calling plays. So if you're questioning that, that's fair. Right. Joe Lombardi has experience. He's a solid offensive coach. Everybody loves Dwayne Lefford, right? Because of what he did with the O-line in Atlanta. That's not suspect. And if it were suspect, you throw more resources at there, right? More talent mitigates the bad coaching if you feel like it's going to be a problem. When you have guys that know what they're doing out there, they can work with less. But saying, oh, well, and also World Class, I also want to point this out too, that this is also a Ravens coping mechanism that we do here a lot. We've been doing this for years. We did the same thing with Giro, right? Oh, we can't give Lamar any talent. What Giro's going to mess it up?
He gonna use it,
right? What's Marty Morningway going to do if we get him if we get him anybody good? Like we always say that. Oh, well, we can't bring anybody. Like, the O-line's bad anyway. Like, we're not gonna have time to throw in the ball. I've heard people say, well, AJ Brown, we can't get AJ Brown because he's not going to look the same here in Baltimore that he does other places because he's not going to get targeted as much. How do you know? How do you know if he's not going to get the same amount of targets over here with a brand new offense? We don't even know what the scheme is.
Right.
Right? Like, come on, man. Like, stop making the excuses for the team. Let them make the excuses. You criticize the team. You hold them accountable. Marlon Day, good morning, says, good morning, fellas. If I was the GM, I'm drafting Kenyon Sadiq in the first round. That dude is a weapon. Then draft O-line in the second and third. Okay. Nitro, I see you. What's going on, Nitro? Says $220 million between 2 edge rushers. Nope. That's what they're trying to do. We got super chat From Todd Riggs, appreciate you. Says Max Pod revealed Ravens flew him commercial.
Yo.
So here's, you know what? Oh, we got another super chat. Let me read this from Kobe. Appreciate you, Kobe. Kobe always knows when we trying to wrap things up. He always knows. I appreciate those. Says Waddle trade probably makes AJ Brown too expensive for us. I would like Juwan Jennings. Dude is tough like a Raven. Play with broken ribs. Get in Joku. Juwan Jennings is good. Give me AJ Brown. I don't care. Too expensive is not a word I want to hear.
Right.
You're willing to give up 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby when you knew he had a bum knee.
Right.
All right. So it flew first class to DC. Yes. They brought me in coach. They sent them out first class.
Okay.
Yeah, the Max Crosby interview, coach played a little bit of it yesterday, and he's given his account of events and basically saying, hey, look, I got there, I didn't even meet EDC for like 5 hours, and they just had me go straight to the doctor, and then when I finally got to meet him and Jesse Minter, the energy was off, and then they told me what was going on, this is and that, and my doctor was telling me, hey, don't listen to that, you're on pace, and he showed me all the paperwork. He's like, you're good, you're gonna be good to go for the start of the season. And like I said yesterday, nobody lied here. Like, Max Crosby's story is the truth, and EDC's story is the truth. They're talking about 2 different things, though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, Max Crosby is on pace to come back this season. He's going to be good to go. The concern is, was he going to be 2 or 3 years from now? That's the concern, right? And they didn't feel comfortable looking at. That's why they brought in that specialist from Dallas to look at it. And that specialist said, hey, dog, you got this year with him, and then I can't guarantee anything after that. And they're like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and cancel this deal. We're not giving up 2 first-round picks for that. And another thing that I'm gonna go back and look at that press conference from EDC, but he says something about how, hey, even though they agreed to a trade, but because it was the tampering period, the trade wasn't finalized yet, and they didn't have the rights to him, they couldn't have brought him in earlier unless the Raiders let them do it. Like, they had to get permission from the Raiders to let them do it. I took from then, even at the time, the Raiders, he probably asked the Raiders, hey, can we take a look at his stuff, his medicals? Can we bring him in early? And they told him, no, let's wait, because they were trying to pull a fast one. And the Raiders haven't really said anything about what went down with this deal. It feels like that they knew that knee was really bad, and they're like, well, once we get him into that building, it'll be harder for them to renege on the deal. That's what it feels like.
Right.
So I see you, Flex Zone. Okay.
So,
what's going on? Says Mark No Andrews is a wild name for Mark Andrews. Hey, man, that's what y'all do when you get tired of a player over here. That's what y'all do. We got over 300 people watching. Salute to y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit that subscribe button on both channels. Lunch Break, Hot Take, Roll Pod. All right. We're going to read a few more comments, and then we're getting up out of here. And then make sure you come back tonight for the LBHT show, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time. Also, our overtime show, which you can find on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT show. And also check out Hendo's Patreon, patreon.com/ROUG. That's how you do it. Let's see what we got here. World Class says, y'all want them to sign and trade for a vet O-line, which are Band-Aids that don't solve the problem. They need to draft and develop the O-line this year. They need 3 more guys. They needed to. What were they doing this whole time, World Class? That's what they were supposed to be doing. You don't draft and develop 3 O-linemen in a year where you're trying to win a Super Bowl. So unless you can see that they're not ready to win a Super Bowl, right? Unless you're conceding that. And if you're conceding that they're not ready to win a Super Bowl, why are you trying to give up 2 first-round picks for Max Crosby?
Right.
Draft and develop your edge rushers. In fact, didn't we just draft An edge rusher
They did.
last year,
Second round.
second round. Okay, but we don't want to draft and develop him, right?
Nah, not on
Um,
defense. Can't do that.
then we draft Aeneas Peebles. Why can't we just develop him? Then we draft Bilal Coney and Longer Beam. Why don't we just develop them? Why are
Right.
we saying we need to go and fill those spots? Um, you can't trade for a vet O line. What are you talking about?
Isn't Trey Hendrickson a Band-Aid?
Yes.
He's going to be 32 when the season starts. So isn't that just a Band-Aid?
Yeah, man. Yo, like, bro, what are we doing?
Right.
What are we doing? Like we can't draft. So I would agree with you a little more and say, hey, draft somebody if it was just one position we were trying to fill.
Mm-hmm.
If we sign two good guards and we're like, hey, we'll go in a draft and we'll get a rookie center. I feel a little uncomfortable because the centers, I don't feel like there's anybody that's going to come in here and really hold down like that. But I will look at the rest of the O line and say, okay, this can work.
Right.
But we got all three of our interior O linemen got to be filled. You want to fill them with centers? I mean, not centers, with rookies. You want to fill all three empty spots with rookies and say develop them? Nah, man.
I mean,
Kobe, thank you for super chat. Oh, sorry, what were you saying, Hendo?
How long are we going to develop him? Lamar only has 2 more years on his contract.
Mm-hmm.
So how long are we going to develop these 3 rookie offensive linemen?
Yeah. Kobe says Max's issue is that he has cartilage damage due to the meniscus tear. Cartilage doesn't have blood vessels and can't heal itself. Needs future repair. Yeah. There you go. Do you guys think Emmanuel Pregnon is a good fit for us? I don't know. Coach, is Emmanuel Pregnon a good fit for this team? I think the hard thing is, I mean, you have to look at what Chicago runs.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's kind of what we'll do here because we got Declan Doyle. Maybe he runs a version of that, but we don't really know what kind of offense we're going to run yet. So does he fit? I don't know. I don't even know what we're running yet. Madara, appreciate another super chat. Says Pickens cap hit is $27 million and is in his contract year. Debo is asking around $17 million a year as a free agent. Different style wide receivers, but what y'all think? Well, Pickens cap hit was $27 million because he's been tagged. Once Dallas signs him or if they trade him, they're going to immediately do a deal and get that cap hit down. Debo asking for $17 million. I don't know what.
It's crazy.
I don't know what to say about that. Y'all want them to win this year. It ain't happening. Okay, that's fair. I agree. I don't think it's happening. The moves that they're making. And of course, I want them to win this year. What are you talking about?
Right.
I want them to win every year, every single year. I'm not delusional about it, but yes, I want them to win every year. That's why I'm critical about the moves that they're making. They could win. But yeah, man, if you're trying to develop, you got to get more serious about the talent that you're bringing in. I mean, are we developing Pinter? The 7-year, 30-year-old vet? Are we developing him? Right. I don't think so. Kobe, thank you for the super chat. It says letting Wyatt Teller go to Houston was crazy. Yeah. And we got another super chat. Coach says yes. He says yes to Pregnon. Pregnon does fit the system. So there you go. Slim, thank you for the 20 super chat. Appreciate that, man. Says it's wild. We can go out and get proven guys on defense, but we got to go draft and develop on offense. Hallball and DeCosta are still neighbors. Y'all know that, right? Hashtag sabotage. Facts.
Saboteurs.
Thank you for that super chat. Really appreciate that. Matt says, how many more years of elite play do you guys think Lamar has? He's creeping up on 30. The organization might be trying to take advantage of his prime. What do you think, Hendo?
100%. They didn't know what they had when they drafted Lamar. They figured they had a guy that was going to sell tickets. He was going to be exciting. They were just going to build it up. He's the quarterback of the future. And he turned out to be an MVP in his first year starting. That's when the organization should have realized, oh, snap. We found a diamond in the rough Let's take advantage of this. And we've seen him from that MVP season get better. He's had one of the three greatest seasons a quarterback has had in 107 years of NFL history. And we're still sitting here piecemealing together an offensive line and giving him weapons that are not on par with what other teams are doing for lesser quarterbacks. Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of this. They're trying to milk this for all that they can, get people in them seats, sell merchandise. They're not trying to win a Super Bowl. Now, Bashadi may want to win a Super Bowl so he can sell the team, but as an organization, the moves that they're making, it tells me they're not serious about winning a Super Bowl. Look at what the Eagles are doing. Like you said earlier, the Rams, they have pieces. Devontae Adams is a future Hall of Famer, and they're trying to upgrade from him. They're still trying to make moves to get better and bring in depth pieces. And we're sitting here bringing in guys that would be backups on other teams to make and trying to make them starters. So yeah, they don't believe in Lamar. They don't care about Lamar. He's showing you this. He's talked about offensive line and upgrading the trenches. How has he upgraded the trenches when his offensive line is marketably worse than it was last season? Like, it's crazy to me.
I think to answer the other part of the question, I think how long can he play elite? He still has a lot left,
Right?
Because he doesn't rely just on his natural talent, on his athleticism, and it shows. Right? People criticize him for not always running because people always want to see him just burn his legs out, but he's being a passer, he's being a quarterback, and he's making smart moves. He came into the league that way. He's always made smart moves. He's always smart with his the decisions he makes throwing the ball. Yeah. He's going to be here for a while. I think
he's going to be in the league for
the league. Yeah, that's what I mean. Here in the league.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Right. And World Class says he doesn't want to win because it'll validate EDC and the problem will continue. Well, if we win, then there's no problem. Like the whole World Class, the whole point is to win Super Bowl. If we win Super Bowl, there's no problem. And we'll win because he put together the right moves. Like, I don't have to like the moves that he's making, but if he's right about Emory Jones, and I think Emory Jones could be pretty good there, right? If he's right about that, if he's right about John Simpson, and if he gets the center position right and the O-line's fixed, then that's all that really matters, right? I don't like that he's always going cheap and he's taking a gamble. I don't like it, but if it works out, it works out, and that's fine. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. Kobe with another super chat. Appreciate that. Says Bane Jr. looked like a dad from the 70s with a pension. Yeah. He looked like one of those college players that sued the state for 8th year eligibility.
That man got a wife and 3 kids at home.
Dave Raven says World Class wants them to lose every year just to fuel an agenda.
Yeah, why would you want to cut off your nose to spite your face? Like, we haven't. I get you don't like EDC, but if we had a chance to win a Super Bowl, we win a Super Bowl. That doesn't guarantee that EDC is going to stay around for forever. It just guarantees him possibly another year. Even with John Harbaugh, if we'd have went into the playoffs and won a playoff game, he said it. He's here for another week. And I would rather be Super Bowl champ and say, you know what, EDC, you did your thing, give him his props, but we're Super Bowl champions. That doesn't come around too often.
I don't dislike EDC. I do root for him.
Yes, but we want to win.
We want to win. He's our GM. I want him to do an excellent job. I want to be wrong about the moves he makes. When I say I don't like something, I'm not hoping we fail so I can be like, I was right about this. Facts. Right? I want to be able to say, damn, got that wrong.
Right. Yeah.
I want to be like, damn, man, like, yo, you were right there, man. I can't say nothing about that. Malachi out that way, but
Malachi Starks was not the right pick, but I don't want him to fail. I want him to be great. You know what I'm saying? It's just I didn't like the pick, but I don't want that man to fail because if he fails, the team doesn't win.
Facts. Him and Mike Green.
Bro.
All right. Like, I believe Mike Green is going to be really good, which is another reason why I didn't really like the Max Crosby trade or signing Trey Henderson.
Right.
EDC doesn't like EDC doesn't like EDC though with some of these moves. I mean, I think he understands his job is on the line, and he's doing what he thinks is going to get them far this year. And look, I don't know what he's thinking for the O line, because I know Steve Bisciotti specifically called out the O line as a big concern for him. And I don't know what he's thinking in his mind, that hey, we can fix this somehow, we'll get better. Or maybe he's thinking what everybody else is thinking. I just have to not start Voorhees and Falele again, and everything will work itself out.
Right.
You know, but that is definitely a concern. And listen, man, like, you have to get more weapons on our offense. Can't trust Bashad Bateman. I don't care, if he wasn't being used properly or not. Maybe he comes back this year, does a little better. Can't rely on that. You can't keep relying on Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, yes, it looks like he could keep playing like this for 5 more years,
right,
but he could also fall off the cliff at any time. Like, he's older now, so you can't just keep leaning on that. You have to really prepare for when you have to make that change, and you want to keep that offense humming. Like, again, I'm looking at the offense, and if Lamar doesn't play, Tyler Huntley ain't saving us.
Facts. Right. And then you have to look at 2024. Zay Flowers got hurt, and it kind of hurt us a little bit against the Buffalo Bills. So why don't we have a contingency plan in case one of these wide receivers goes down? We have somebody that can step up and may not give similar production, but it won't hurt the offense as much, because without him, we struggle until that second half. So, just the moves that he's made offensively, he'll find backups on defense, but offensively, it's just like, man, he's good enough. We'll get by. Lamar's going to compensate for everything that I'm not doing. And I think you've called it a lot where you said it's lazy coaching, lazy GMing, because Lamar's going to mask a lot of things on the offense. So you focus solely on defense, but yet still they're not turning the ball over. They're not getting the ball back to Lamar. They're not putting him in advantageous situations where he can go out and do certain things and we can win games. So if we haven't done it in years past, why do you think that that's going to change? Especially, and I'm not taking anything away from Trey Hendrickson, because I really like him, bringing in older defenders that just came off of surgery. Like, Max Crosby wasn't the only one. Like, Trey Hendrickson missed 10 games last year. Yeah. And we think he's going to come. And you gave him $100 million on top of that at 32, going to be 32.
Let's see. Cordistan. Stansfield. Thank you. It says the weapons on offense are fine. The offense line was a turnstile last year. The weapons aren't. I don't think they're not. I don't think they're fine. I mean, look, Zay Flowers is really good, and Derrick Henry is great.
Right.
That's it. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. Yes, the offensive line was a turnstile last year, and guess what? As of today, I got to keep prefacing that. As of today, because it could change. It's worse than last year.
Right.
It's actually worse than last year.
Listen, if you take our starting outside of Zay, you take our starting wide receiver, our 2 starting tight ends, and our wide receiver 3 combined, they may have 800 yards between the 4 of them. Between the 4 of them, and we're fine.
It's not. No, we're not fine, man. We're not fine. We had to do more, man. We got to stop. We got to stop accepting the bare minimum with the offense. That's just what we're used to. That's why you guys go along with it, because we're used to accepting the bare minimum and saying, "Oh, it'll work out. Oh, we get the, all we have to do is this. We don't need this. We can just get this." No, man. Treat the offense like you treat the defense,
right,
and then hold the defense to the expectation that you hold the offense to. Because with all these non-moves that you're making, there's going to be a higher burden on the offense than there will be on the defense by fans. By fans.
Yep. And then look at Howie Roseman. Like, he's just the example.
So do ESQ.
He has AJ Brown. Don't know if he's going to trade him, going to keep him. He has Devontae Smith, and he went out and picked Hollywood Brown up. regardless if you like him or not, as a third option, getting
As a third
700
option.
yards and 5 touchdowns is damn good. He doesn't stop adding talent. He just signed Tariq Woolen. The man already had two of the best cornerbacks when it comes to completion percentage and yardage given up in the league. He had number 1 and number 3, and went out and got a Super Bowl champion. He doesn't stop adding talent on offense or defense, but yet and still, we have not won a Super Bowl since 2012, and we continue to go with this narrative of, oh, we're fine on offense. Like somebody will develop, and this guy they'll turn it around. And we're still set in the same situation, but we want to continue going down that same road, and then wonder why at the end of the season, why it didn't work out. Like, it's crazy.
Here's what I want y'all to do. Anytime you get these thoughts creep up in your head, like, oh, this is good enough. All we need to do is this. Or we all we need to do is just sign this guy. Just get this guy. That's all we need to do. Go look around the league at the top teams. Whoever you consider a top team. And go look, just look at their roster,
right,
and then ask yourself, is that all we need? Right? Like the Broncos, who I don't even think were great, but
right,
they're in the AFC Championship game. This went out and got Jalen Waddle. Right. They had a good defense, a damn good defense last year. You know, Handel just mentioned the Eagles. We talked about the Rams trying to upgrade from Devontae Adams, and they have Puka Nacua on the team. You know what I'm
saying? Right. They said, Puka, you are probably one of the best wide receivers in the league, but you ain't enough.
Like, you know what other teams that are trying to win Super Bowls do? They'll trade for Max Crosby. They're like, cool. Let's get Trey Henderson too. Cool. Let's also get AJ Brown. Right. And the fans might ask questions. We might ask questions like, how you gonna pay for all that? Like, don't worry about it. That's what they say. Don't worry about it.
Right.
We'll add 5 more years if we have to, but we're going to get the guy. And it never seems to affect them. Right. It never seems to affect them. They always manage to make it work.
And then we're gonna sign Wyatt Teller to come off the bench. What? Right. How do they do it?
Thank you for a super chat. Says EDC and Harv saw KC do more with less on offense and copied, but their mistake was comparing themselves to a world-class coaching staff and GM. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Brett Veach is another one. Like, if it's crazy to me, throughout the league, you have certain GMs. You have the GM, you have Les Snead in LA, you have Howie in Philly, and you have Brett Veach in Kansas City. They are well known. Like, people shouldn't be knowing GM's names, but they are well known for the moves that they make. People know Eric DaCosta for the number of draft picks that he has.
Yeah. Yep.
There lies the difference.
All right. I got to wrap this up. We've been going for an hour. You got me running late here. Yeah. All right. We're going to pick this up tonight, 7:45 p.m. Eastern time, right here on Lunch Break Hot Take, the LBHT show. All right. Check it out. Subscribe to both channels before you go. Lunch Break Hot Take, Rogue Pod. All right. Yeah. And make sure you hit up our Patreons, patreon.com/LBHTshow, patreon.com/ROUG. And that is it, man. Y'all have a great day. Oh, I knew Ty was going to do it. Damn it, Ty. Appreciate the super chat. Mentor wants plays to run as designed so Lamar doesn't have to improv yet. We are seeing nothing but weak offensive moves. Yeah. That's the other thing too. Yeah. That's the other thing. You don't want him to play hero ball. You don't want him to go out there and try to improvise, but you're not setting him up with any real success. You know, so all right, y'all. That's it for real. We're out of here. Have a great day.